Hey guys, we're about to record episode 5 of Open Spaces with Siera Vernice. And y'all, I'm super excited to just continuously show up, share my message. And lately we've been doing this little freestyle thing when it comes to recording the podcast. I don't really have no notes. Like, I think about something that I want to talk about and we may go off on a tangent. But I feel like it's good conversations. It's open spaces. We could talk about whatever. I do want to get some more guests on for this season. But yeah, we're going to dive right into it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get into it, y'all, okay? All right, guys, we are back with another episode of Open Spaces with Siera Vernice. And y'all, guess what? I got the visual going because I was just like, you know what? I look cute today. I feel like they ain't see me for a visual in a very, very long time when it comes to open spaces on YouTube. So here we are, and I am recording audio version. So if you're listening either audio or if you're watching for the video, welcome. Open Spaces is a place where I literally have decided to talk about being authentically you, healing, forgiving, loving, everything. I want to say that when we were Self-Expressed with Love Kills, there was a lot of things that I did openly express. There was a lot of insight that I shared within my own personal life. I gave y'all advice on y'all life when y'all sent in questions, when y'all sent in topics, when we had guests, when I had my co-host. Like, there was a lot of different growth and changes. So when we walked into the year 2025, I was like, you know what? I think I want to take this into the next gear and kind of like branch off from my old brand, which is where Self-Expressed with Love Kills came from. We'll dive down in that story another day. But for y'all who have been following me since day one, y'all know Love Kills was my very first brand. And I feel like the podcast Self-Expressed with Love Kills was a branch off to who I was at that moment. And now I feel like Open Spaces with Siera Vernice is a new version of where I am in life, and just honestly allowing myself to not only have the space for me, but to allow it to be open to you guys and to build that community with this podcast. So I'm super excited about all the things that we have that are coming up. I know I previously talked to y'all audio version wise. If you haven't been paying attention audio version wise when you're looking at the video, go back and listen to the last couple of episodes, YouTube people, because I shared some things that I really want to do when it comes to this podcast. But just a little brief recap, I really want to start building community. I want to start having like events. I definitely just told YouTube that I wanted to do a book tour for my next book. So there's just so many lanes that I can go into when it comes to this podcasting stuff. And I feel like with Open Spaces, it is that space, that opportunity where I can not only allow myself to be myself, but I can teach others and others can decide to be themselves as well. And we just all kind of vibe together. So I'm super excited for the growth and the evolution of this podcast. I believe it's 2025. I believe this is year 5. I think it's year 5 of the podcast because I want to say I recorded the first episode at the end of 2019, but I didn't drop the first episode until like January 2020. So technically it has been 5 years. I didn't celebrate the way that I should have, but nonetheless, no need to stress. I will be celebrating everything else moving forward because why not? But I want to give y'all a quick recap because I feel like I talked to y'all last week, or maybe the episode I dropped was a while ago. I don't really know. It's been a lot going on. But I have been doing life updates on YouTube. So YouTube, y'all might already know some of this information. So don't stress, no fret. We're going to get into the episode. Because I told myself, I was listening to the last episode. And I was like, dang, my recaps really be long. But I be really wanting to give y'all the tea. Like, I be wanting y'all to know what's in the know of my life. Because it's always something. It's just always something. So quick little recap. I have officially finished school. I feel like the last podcast episode, it was recorded a while before I actually released it, so I probably haven't officially announced it, but I am done school for my first semester. I decided to go back to school for a new major. It has been tedious, interesting, very overwhelming at times, but I got through it. I'm super happy. I have celebrated myself. I really didn't need anybody to celebrate me or clap, 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 but people did, and I appreciate everybody who has shown love, who have sent their congratulations and everything. But it feels good to know that I completed something that I said I wanted to start, and I'm going to continue to keep pushing through. I have summer semester starting literally next week, but luckily I took all online classes, and I only have two because I told myself I'm not going to pressure myself into being overwhelmed, because I've been learning some things about myself that I will put myself under chaos when I don't really have to be, which we'll talk about that at a later date, because I have an episode. I don't know, maybe I might make it my next podcast episode. Maybe I'll just have it as a YouTube video. I haven't really decided yet, but things that I've learned on my vacation, reflections from my vacation. So that takes me to the next thing. I did plan a girls trip, and I went with my two friends. It was a really good time. I had obviously moments to myself where I had a time to reflect on myself, reflect on my environment, my journey, the things that I was doing, all of the things. So I think I will be making a video about that. What else was happening? My kid is to his last few weeks of his 5th grade year. He's about to be a middle schooler. And I just really don't know how to feel. He's about to be in middle school, and he's about to be 12. And we've been low-key beefing from time to time, I ain't gonna lie. But, I feel like that's just our dynamic, and just any mother-son dynamic, when it's kind of like the boy is growing up to be a man and he's with his mom, and it's so much controversy on the internet. I'm not even about to go into it, but me and him, some days we up under each other and we love each other, and some days it's just like, bro, give me my space. And he probably be feeling the same way. But we getting through it. We both here. We didn't kill each other, so we both here, so we cool. So yeah, mom life has been cool. I want to say that's really been it. I have been doing my little 1-2 on the dating. I didn't really necessarily intentionally put myself out there to want to start dating. I feel like once I always ultimately decide to, like, all right, I'm not going to worry and focus on dating and, being in a relationship, I'm really going to take this time to myself. That's when everybody gravitates to me, and it's just like, why do you want to bother me? But at this season in my life, I'm not pushing anybody away. I'm not responding in the way that I normally respond when, trauma and normal responses from my behavior pop up. I'm trying to really recondition the way that I move, the way that I think, the way that I operate. So I'm leaning into what feels good and pulling away from what doesn't. So do with that information as you will. It's been cool. I've been enjoying it, but at the same time, I love being to myself and having that time to myself, because nothing's better than that. But life's been good. I have no real complaints. I'm just super excited that I am done school, so now I have a little bit more openness in my schedule. Super excited to take on more life coaching clients. I have officially started taking free calls for anybody who is looking to either shift their mindset, change their mind about how their life is going, or just honestly get some advice. Either way, the free call, it is the breakthrough call, and it is something like a branch off how I did the breakthrough campaign on Instagram, if you've been following me on Instagram for a while. But it's pretty much a call where you sit down, you tell me your issues or whatever it is that you want to work through. We find a solution. I'm going to give you the clarity on what it is that your next steps need to be. And then you can go on and do that. If you need to figure out, okay, Siera, now I need a plan. Like, I hear what you said. I slept on it. I thought about it. And I do agree this is what I need, but I don't know what I need to do to get there next. Then that's when we will step into our let's figure it out session, because we will break down a roadmap, a plan, a guideline on what it is that you are trying to reach and how you're going to get there. So I'm really trying to show up for you guys more, help you guys more. We'll be doing those calls. They are going to be located in the description box below, so you can literally click the link, book your spot. It's a 20-minute call, nothing super serious. It doesn't have to be formal. Most of the time I'm usually in some chill, hair tied up, t-shirt, hoodie on. It's not something that you have to be afraid of. I don't mind choosing it to be a regular phone call, or if you don't want to be on the camera, I'm fine with that. I just really want to be able to change lives one day at a time, because I know a lot of my life I had to change one day at a time. So if I can impact multiple people one day at a time, then I'm here for it. So yeah, that's all I really have. I want to dive right into this episode because I don't want it to be super long, because it's really like a one statement piece, but I'm going to talk about a couple of different areas in this new breakthrough of every single one of our lives. So I want to tell a story before I get into the details of this episode. But the name of this episode is Breaking Through to the New You. And I don't know if it was, I don't think it was this year. No, it wasn't this year. It was 2024. When I recorded a podcast episode at the beginning of 2024, I did the rebirth year or something like that. And I remember Kenya was on the episode and she was like, I don't really like the name of that. And I was just like, well, that's just how I feel. Like, this is my year of being new. And then I realized that the year 2024, I did do a lot of new different things. I did become a new different person. But I remember having a conversation with the one guy that I was talking to, and he ended up, I don't know if he asked me, I really can't remember verbatim, but I remember he had asked me something, and I think it was along the lines of like, oh, why you acting like that? Or, I feel like you changing. And it may not have been like that, may not have been his exact words, but that was the vibe. And I believe my next words were like, oh, I'm about to rebrand myself. And he was like, rebrand yourself? What does that mean? And I was just like, whatever it is that I want to do. Like, I want to choose to be who I want to be. I don't have to be the same person every single time. Like, so if you feel like I'm acting different, or if I'm changing, or that you don't want to, deal with me when I become this next level person, then that's fine, right? And that conversation in my mind popped up not too long ago, because I believe I seen a post on Twitter, and I think I seen a video on TikTok as well, and it was kind of just like, you don't have to be the same person that you were a year ago. And then when I went on my girls trip, and in my reflection piece that I wrote down, one of them was that I don't have to operate the way that I've always operated, because it's normal. It's my common ground, right? And same thing with this episode. That's what we're going to be diving into. I want y'all to realize that you can start over again, and again. You do not have to be the same person every single day. I literally choose every single morning. All right, am I either building on who I was yesterday? Am I trying to be a little bit better in one aspect of life? Am I going to challenge myself to make myself uncomfortable, right? So I'm having these conversations with myself to kind of see what it is that I want my life to look like. So when I say that I was going to rebrand myself, and I had that conversation with him at the moment, and again, this was in 2024, so now I'm doing a little self-reflection, I have realized that piece by piece, I did start to rebrand myself. I start to shape myself. I start to be a different version of who I was before. And even to this day, as I'm sitting here recording this, I'm not even that person that I was when I had that conversation with him. So just to kind of give y'all some context. So when we had that conversation, I don't even remember at what point of the year it was in 2024, but I just know it was in 2024. But throughout the time, I could start to feel like that I really started to stand firm on my boundaries. I really started to have like non-negotiables. I really started to stop being a people pleaser. 2024 was the year for sure that I had realized that I am no longer being a people pleaser. Like, I cannot sit here and try to please everybody else when I'm the one that's dissatisfied at the end of the day. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That was a huge, and I feel like that was one of my lessons in 2024 that I talked about at the first episode of 2025. I actually want to go back and listen to that episode again, because I'm kind of doing a TikTok series on the things that I've learned in my late 20s. So I think I'm going to re-listen to that, because I can incorporate that into some more content for myself. Side note, just out loud thinking, y'all. I'm sorry. That's just what I be doing. But yeah, I want to say I definitely stopped being a heavy people pleaser then. I realized also when it came to rebranding myself that I didn't have to hold on to things that I was so used to and comfortable with. Like, if it has shown me multiple times that something was not for me or a person was not for me, then it was okay to let it go. I feel like 2024 was really like the shaping of my rebrand. Like I did a lot of the mindset shifts and transformations. And then 2025 is the year where I've really been just putting it into action and putting it in place into my life, where now that is the new norm. So now I don't even have to sit back and question myself when either I have a conversation or I do something and I have to like, it's just usually nope, it is what it is. That's how it's going to be. So the rebrand of my life has been going great, but to be honest, I feel like people need to realize that they can start over whenever. And I know for me, my rebrand probably definitely was a little bit more ignited towards the end of 2023, going into 2024, realizing that, all right, I got out of this relationship. I want to do more for myself. I want to do this. I want to do that, right? We get the whole new hype with the new year, new me type thing. But you could literally decide to rebrand your life at any given moment that you want. Like, you do not have to wait until some specific time of the year. You do not have to wait until your partner breaks up with you, or you break up with your partner, or y'all have an argument. If you know and you feel that tug in your heart, you feel those strings being pulled, that you are not in the position that you need to be in, or that you are pretty much staring off from being where God sees you to be or where you need to be, right? Then that's the time where you say, you know what, I need something new. And it's really about having that sense of self-awareness, like knowing that the situation that you're in is not getting to where you've always wanted to go. Like everybody, I don't care what nobody say, everybody has a vision on what they want their life to look like. Not saying necessarily that you're always going to get what it is that you envisioned your life to be, but if you can help it, if there are some things that you have always yearned for and that you wanted for your life, but you don't do anything to get there, it's kind of like, well, how can you expect your life to get to where you wanted it to be if you're not doing the things that are required of you to get there? So let's just get into some things that I would like to share with y'all when it comes to rebranding yourself, restarting, whatever it may be. So first things first, I'm gonna obviously start with the relationship with yourself, because I just feel like it's a very important part of life. Like, you can't have relationships with other people's, and I'm not just talking about romantic, I'm talking about platonic friendships as well. You cannot have good relationships if you don't have a good relationship with yourself. So when it comes to rebranding yourself, it starts with your relationship with yourself. So I tell people all the time, when it comes to rebranding yourself, your relationship with yourself has to be clear. You have to, for one, understand what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, what it is that you like to do for yourself, what it is that others could do for you so that you can be happy, right? What makes you happy? What does success look like to you, right? What does your typical day look like versus what do you want it to look like, right? Start to build out those different aspects of the relationship with yourself, because at the beginning and the end of every single day, you have to live with yourself. Yes, you can have a partner. Yes, you can have a friend. Yes, you can have a kid. Yes, you can have a mother or brother or sister or cousin. But at the end of the day, you have to lay down and be satisfied with who you are. Not what other people think about you, not how other people feel about you, but how do you feel and think about yourself? I don't care about nothing else. Imagine that when you wake up in the morning, how do you feel? Is your first thought to, oh, I gotta get up, I gotta go to the job? Nope. How do you feel about yourself? Are you happy? Do you feel grateful to be alive? Do you want to wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, right? When you start to build on that relationship with yourself, you'll start to see how, for one, things will come to you easily, abundantly. But then you'll also get to build up that confidence, that self-worth, that high self-esteem, right? If you constantly wake up and go to sleep concerned about what other people think or what you have to do, you'll feel empty a lot of the times. Figure out what makes you happy, what makes you feel good, how you want to live your life, how you see yourself. Because it doesn't matter how other people see you. I've learned that. And I stand on that to this day. I'm going to show up to be me authentically. I don't care how you feel. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. I don't care if you feel like, oh, I'm to this, I'm to that. I'm going to show up as me. Now, of course, if there's some things that I feel that I need to work on, again, having that relationship with myself is going to allow me to sit back and sit myself down and say, hey, girl, check yourself, right? We all got to have those moments. But again, if you don't have that relationship with yourself, it's kind of hard to rebrand yourself. Not only because you will be so confused and so unfocused on what it is that you want for yourself, but you'll also continuously keep doing things for the sake of other people. I'm gonna let y'all simmer in that. If you do not build that relationship with yourself so that you can continuously rebrand or continuously thrive into that version of yourself that you are rebranding, you're going to constantly live for other people. You're going to do everything that you want for other people. It has nothing to do with you, but you're going to do it. And then that's how you lose your identity. That's how you lose your sense of self. That's how you are not confident, because the moment that that person or that thing that you feed into, instead of feeding into yourself, leaves, walks away, disappears, breaks, whatever, you have nothing. You are nothing. And who wants to feel like that? This is the time where we have to pour into ourselves and not just necessarily taking yourself out and doing all the cutesy things, but that relationship with yourself means a lot. So before you go to rebrand and change your life and be who you want to be, you have to make sure that you build that relationship with yourself. Make sure that you believe yourself. Make sure that you trust in yourself. Make sure that you love yourself. Right? And I know we talked about this in a previous episode. If you are not loving yourself unconditionally, then it's kind of like, what are we doing? It's very hard to rebrand yourself when you're not even sure of what it is or who it is that you are. So that's my first thing that I want to dig into. Then we're going to shift into mindset. So mindset plays a huge role in rebranding yourself. When you decide that you want to change your life and you decide that you want something different, you know what? I'm going to start building on a relationship with myself. I'm going to start changing my life because I want to do things differently. I want different results. Tattoo say, and I'm gonna show it to the YouTube people. Change your mindset, change your life. It's a slogan that I came up with. Obviously, I didn't make the words, so I didn't make the words. I just put them together, but it was a revelation that I had within myself that if I ever wanted to change my life, I have to change the way that I think about how my life is going. I used to be the girl that would say, oh, bad things are happening to me, but I'm such a good person. Why is that happening? Or I felt like, oh, my ex did this to me, so everybody in the world is going to do this to me. Or, oh, I'm not going to have a good life because I don't have money. Oh, I'm not going to be successful because I don't have X, Y, and Z. None of that shit is true, unless that's what you truly believe. Now, if you decide to change your mindset and say, what's meant for me will be for me, I don't have to bend, break, or twist and turn for this person to like me. I do what it is that I want to do. I think the way that I think, and if people don't like it, then they don't have to be around me. I am allowed to grow. I am allowed to change. I am allowed to be different. I am allowed to be bold. I am allowed to be authentically who I want to be. And whoever doesn't like it can go. I do have the opportunity to grow. I will overcome any challenge. I love myself despite what other people may feel. I no longer care how other people feel. I will succeed. I will win. I will achieve everything I set my mind to. Anything is possible. All of those things that I'm saying, and I can say it so effortlessly and so like flowing, because I believe those things, not only just for me, but for you. But again, if you do not change your mindset, if you do not see your life in a better light, other than I'm the victim, everybody's out to get me, oh no, I'm always going to be like this, I can't change, then that's exactly what you are going to get. So I encourage you to change your mindset so that you can change your life. Because constantly thinking that your life is going to be better, but the way that you think up here, in that relationship with yourself non-existent, you're not gonna get much of a good rebrand. You're gonna say I'm gonna rebrand, but it's gonna be the same old version. So make sure we change our mindset. Next thing that I want y'all to do, if you are considering to change who you are from who you were, I need you to change your habits. And I know we talk about this all the time. And I know we talked about this a lot of times in our Align and Reflect segment. I need y'all to start changing the way that you operate, the things that you do. You can't hang out with Pookie and them and be in the club every weekend and drinking every day if you're trying to be successful. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with it. But if you in a time like me where I'm trying to finish a degree, I'm trying to become a PhD graduate, me bar hopping, me drinking bottles, me smoking weed, me popping pop, I can't do all of that. It's not possible. That old version of you that you're so used to and that you're so comfortable with cannot exist while you are trying to build the new version of you. So you have to choose one. And this is usually where people fall off. They don't want to change their habits. They don't want to change the way that they usually operate to something that's completely uncomfortable and foreign because they're used to operating this way. That is literally majority of the reason why you can't change, your mama, your auntie, me, right? I'm not going to exclude myself because I'm going to be real with y'all, just like I'm real with myself. If you cannot change your habits, then you will literally not be able to change your life. Have you ever heard of the saying when people say, like, typical scenario, like a black man in America in the hood, and either he has two opportunities. He could be in jail or he can be in the grave. That's not true. He has many other opportunities, many other choices to make. But because he is a product of not only his environment, but of his normal habits, yes, those are his only two choices. Yes, absolutely. But when you change your mindset and you change your habits, he could have plenty of different opportunities. Same thing with a female. At one point, society said, oh yeah, females go to college to find a husband, the husband finds them, they get married, they have kids, they have a successful life, and that's it for a woman. A woman was never allowed to have dreams, never allowed to have goals. But you see the women thriving in this world today in 2025. Some of them married, some of them not. And some of them okay with not being married, but very successful and very happy and being able to achieve their dreams. You do not have to have this tunnel vision view of the way that your life is supposed to be. But you also can't think that the way that you operate right now, and when you want to be where you want to be, is that same operation is going to work. That's like using it as an example, because I'm going to give y'all a couple of examples when it comes to changing your habits. So for me, I just told y'all in my recap that I started dating again. One habit that I had to change about when it came into being single for 2 years and starting to date again, the one habit that I had to change, and this is the one thing that I always tell myself that I had to unlearn, that everybody ain't going to treat me like my previous relationships did. My cycle of my relationship is not going to be just like my old one. And I had to start saying these things out loud because the habit, the way that I'm thinking when it comes to dating and men and being in relationships was always geared toward how I was previously treated. And that is how I was always being able to be in the space of being treated the same way with different people, but same dynamic. Right? So I had to change my habits and change my mindset about dating. Because you'll hear people say, oh, the dating pool got piss in it. The dating pool got pissed in it because all of y'all think the way that your previous relationship happened, this is how the next one's gonna happen. Everybody's coming in to the dating world and the dating scene trying to either be strong or put up a wall and, not be this and that, simply because of the last relationship that you had with somebody, and you're bringing that into the new relationships or the new dynamic of you trying to date. That don't work. If you want to get different results, you got to do things differently. And I tell people this all the time. And I had to tell it to myself because I had realized the hard body, hard as nails Siera, that only came from my previous relationship. Because over the years of us being together and me picking up habits from him and vice versa, I can't think that I'm going to have a healthy relationship and I'm acting how I was acting in a toxic relationship. Make it make sense. It don't work like that. You have to change your habits. You have to change your mindset in order to change your life. So don't think that, oh, it sounds good, I'm going to rebrand myself, I'm going to make myself new, I'm going to make myself a different person, and you're still doing the same old things. You're still thinking the same old ways. You have to change things. Another thing when it comes to habits, because it just popped up in my mind, if you are a person that is yearning for some type of success, everybody's success definition is different, to each his own, whatever yours may be, right? You think that, let's say for instance, I'll use this as an example, one of your dreams, one of your goals is to be able to maybe make a certain amount of money. We'll say $1 million, That's a typical American dream. People want to make a bunch of money, right? That's what makes you happy. If that's what makes you feel like you're successful, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. But what is it that you are doing to make $1 million? Your 9 to 5 will never, ever, it has been proven statistics, will never make you $1 million. And y'all should know, in this economy, that's not a thing. And I'm not saying that you got to quit your 9 to 5. That's not what I said. But what I'm saying is that if you want to make $1 million at one point in your life, you're going to have to change some of those habits. You're for sure going to have to change your mindset. And not only you're going to have a relationship with yourself, but you have to have a relationship with money. So it's going to be a lot of different things that's going to have to change. But if you have and you've yearned for this $1 million at some point in your life, and that's what's going to make you successful, you have to be doing things differently. You cannot, again, kick it with Pookie and go to the clubs and blow a bunch of money. The wealthiest of the wealthiest people wear the most commonest clothes, hang out with the same people, doing very strategic things, investing not only in wealth and money and real estate, but in themselves. You have to do things differently to get to that $1 million. You cannot expect you chilling on the block with Pookie. I don't know who Pookie is, but Pookie just fit, okay? You cannot be going out every weekend. You cannot be blowing. You cannot not have a savings. You cannot not be investing, right? You cannot not be investing in yourself. You have to move the needle each and every day. So when it comes to rebranding and reconsidering who you want to be and the person that you want to become, you have to do things differently, right? Change yourself so that your life can change, down to the emotions, down to the reactions, down to the behaviors, down to the actions. You have to change through and through who you are. I feel like I have nothing else to say because I feel like it was deep enough for y'all to get it and for y'all to understand. We find ourselves living the same cycle day after day. You get up, you're miserable, you go to work, you get your kids, you go home, you cook dinner, you clean, you do this, you do that, it's bedtime, you wake up, you do it again. I don't know about y'all, but I'd be cool off of that. I'd be so cool off of that. Now, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy those days when I have to do that, because I do. But best believe my every single living day on this earth will not be that. It will not be that. There has to be more. I feel that there is more. And if you feel that there is more, then you have to figure out what it is that you need to do so that it can be more. I had to tell myself the other day that, you know what, today's are one of those days that although I got through my work day, although I took my son X, Y, and Z, I picked him up, I did this, I did that, that doesn't mean that the day has to end. Is it going to be a little bit out of my norm? For sure. But that's what's going to make me uncomfortable. That's what's going to move the needle, right? The one day I told myself I'm not working, I'm not doing nothing. It was literally, I want to say maybe it was the first day back from vacation. I said, you know what? Let me get up. Let me go take myself out. I had to go take my final. And after my final, I took myself out. And I didn't tell a friend I was going nowhere. I didn't tell nobody nothing. I just got up and I went. And that was something that stretched me. Granted, I've been out by myself plenty of times, but I haven't done it in a very long time. So I told myself, you know what, let me stretch myself, right? Because today I can decide to do something different. Today I can decide to be a Siera that took Siera out by herself. She didn't have to tell nobody. She didn't have to ask and have a bunch of no's and then decide to go. No, off rip, I knew after I'm done taking my final, I'm going to go get something to eat and I'm going to go have me some drinks and I'm going to have my time to myself. That's just like also another day this week. I said, you know what? As much as I'm not used to being in this type of dynamic of a relationship or, you know, even trying to start and build a relationship, I'm going to go on this date. I'm going to stretch myself to be different because I don't have to be old Siera that wants to be, oh, I don't want to talk to no men and I have a brick wall and that is like, because everybody's going to hurt me. No. Change the way that you think about your life. Change the way that you think about the way that you need to operate. Because it's not true. Most of the times it's not. It's literally just a story that you keep replaying and replaying back and forth in your head to make you feel good about the decisions that you are making. But when you sit back and you realize that those decisions that you are making that are holding you back is doing just that. It is holding you back for becoming more. It is holding you back to getting the things that you truthfully really want. But you can't openly admit that to yourself because you know that you have to change who you are today. And that's all I got. Because I feel like I ain't going to chew y'all up no more. I'm going to let y'all sit with this and have the information. And y'all do with it whatever it is that y'all want to do with it. But I hope that this has impacted somebody. I hope that this has changed somebody's insight on the way that they are living their life today. I know when I came to the realization and I said, you know what, this is going to be the next podcast episode. And I didn't write a note down. This straight off the dome. This straight off the having a conversation with myself, but having the conversation with y'all. Nothing written. Nothing at all. But I had to share this because I know a lot of people will let their relationship with other people, their relationship with themselves, their mindset, their habits, stop them and hinder them from becoming more, for becoming a better version. And you already know I've stood on becoming the best version that you can be. And again, the best version will never always be the best version to me is like you grow, you evolve. And then you're going to have to become a better version, right? Because there's going to be different things in your life that happen that require you to stretch yourself and to grow and to evolve. So just because I say become the better version, become the best version, there's always going to be another level. There's always going to be another level of yourself. The moment that you stop having to grow, that you stop having to heal, that you have to stop evolving is the day that you take your last breath. So considering the fact that you are still breathing, you have work to do. You have evolving to do. You have some stretching that you need to do. Make yourself uncomfortable. Do things differently. Don't think that everything that happened in your past has to be happening today. Don't think that the way that you operate, the way that you behave and think has to be how you've always done those things. Create a new way. Don't stop yourself from stretching and growing. Rebrand yourself. And sometimes you may feel like, okay, I done did this, I done moved like this for a couple of weeks. I'm in the space where I've been on some new level, next level for the last 3 to 4 months. And guess what? I'm going to stay in this space. There's some parts of my life that's going to start to change because I can say dating life back in December, January, Siera was against it. Siera didn't want to be in a relationship. Siera didn't care about dealing with no men. Siera was cool with being by herself. May, June, Siera may be like, you know what? I wouldn't mind having me, a little intimacy, a little partner, a little somebody that I'm getting to know. And who's to say that December 2025 here may not be cooped up? You never know. You never know, right? But you can ultimately decide to stretch yourself, to make yourself uncomfortable and change your life. But in order to do that, you have to change the way that you think, the way that you behave, the way that you choose to do whatever it is that you are going to do. So I hope that this has really impacted somebody. Y'all gotta give me some feedback on this episode because I feel like this might be my favorite one. Granted, I'm gonna say right now it's my favorite one for the month of May. Since we're in a new month, this is definitely one of my top ones, top of the year and for May. So I hope that this has really inspired somebody to want to go change something. And it's not like you have to really change everything all at once. Like you'll start to, if you walk into your today or tomorrow with this mindset of, I'm going to rebrand myself, I'm going to choose to be this person, I'm going to choose to stop tolerating this, I'm going to choose to be better in this, I'm going to choose to, not think like this. Whatever it is that you're going to do, it doesn't have to be all at once. You can slowly and progressively start to change. And then you'll start to see it. Like for me, I feel great. I am A-okay with being where I'm at right now. I'm standing firm on my boundaries. I'm standing firm in my non-negotiables when it comes to certain things. I don't tolerate the things that I used to tolerate, right? I want more in this aspect. I want more in that aspect. I'm changing my way of thinking with date. Like, it's so many different things that I am doing that in the sense that I'm rebranding myself little by little each and every day. So look at it like that. Like, you don't have to do everything that it is that you want to be changed right in one day. Take small steps, right? Change those small mindset shifts. Change those habits. Think differently, right? So that you can start to see your life evolve. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Make sure that y'all, if y'all would like to talk on the phone and y'all want to get some clarity in your life, simply because you're going through a rough patch, you're not really sure what's your next move, you're not sure if your next move is your best move, and you just need to talk to somebody, I got a free breakthrough call. You can literally scroll down in the description box of the podcast show, and on YouTube y'all can see it in the description box under the video. You can click the link. If you want to go straight to the Let's Figure It Out session, you can book that call as well. If you are not following me on all my social media accounts, make sure you follow me, because we got some tea. Got some tea. The podcast only drop once a week. I drop a lot of content in my stories. TikTok has been my more frequent platform, so if you want to follow me there, you can. And yeah, I think that's all I got for y'all. I will see y'all next time. Make sure y'all leave us a rating and review, because the more rating and reviews that we get, the more that I will be in touch with people just like you that need me. So I love y'all to life, and until next time, bye.